G'day everybody, Wong here. So, do you ever watch a YouTuber, maybe even me, and you look at their tips to do with BattleBit and you're like, man, these are some friggin' awesome tips, I'm gonna hop in game and I'm gonna do it. But before you even hop in game and try to apply these tips, you have to realize that your brain is already full of a bunch of other things, because BattleBit's a pretty demanding game. You know, you might be thinking about stuff like, I don't know, like aim, movement, just like other like vital things, you know, things that you need to do in BattleBit. And your brain can't fit any more tips, it's completely full of this stuff. So what do I do when my brain is full? Well, you have to find a way to make these concepts muscle memory and make them second nature. Doing that will free up your mind to apply new concepts and do new things. But that's easier said than done. Now this video isn't going to teach you how to make aim and movement and things muscle memory, but instead I'm going to show a different workaround where you can grab my tips from BattleBit and other YouTubers and instead make those muscle memory before aim and movement. So what you need to do for that is you need a game that doesn't require aiming and moving and worrying about health and worrying about these things that only BattleBit has, and instead worrying about the fundamentals of shooters. And the game I recommend for that is Door Kickers 2. Door Kickers 2 is one of my favourite games of all time, and I used to play this all the time in between shooter games, like FPS games, and it is a top-down strategy game where you really don't have to worry about aiming and moving, and you more think about positioning and utility usages and teamwork and coordination, and you learn how to divide up angles and calculate advantages and disadvantages. It's just a really, really good game. And I think that I really want to bring this to my channel, so the rest of this video after this is going to be me doing a couple of missions, maybe even just the first mission, and just explaining everything to do with the game and showing how you can apply it to BattleBit. So anyways, let's move on to the first mission. Alrighty, so first things first, before I start, I'm just going to go into the settings, and there is a reset game progress, and I'm going to do that. So yeah, there'll be a little bit like weird in the video, but I'm just going to reset it now. And restart. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to actually hit Windows and Shift and S to grab a screenshot. That didn't work actually, that is hilarious. I will instead control print screen. And I'm going to put this into my photo editing software, and we're going to go in and analyze this map a little further, and let's make a plan, you know, based on the geometry of this map. There are some things that we can do to increase our chance of winning. So let's go have a look over there. And we're just going to have a quick little look here on the map. So first things first, let's talk about this first corner we're attacking here. Right now in BattleBit, or in any FPS games, there's a rule where if you have, let's say this door frame, right? Let's say there's an enemy somewhere within this room and I'm outside of this room, right? Let's say the enemy is standing here and I'm standing here. Green for me instead. So whoever is furthest away from this door, right? So I'm about this far, whereas the other guy is only this far, right? Like I'm way further away from the door. I will actually have an advantage. And the reason being is that your character in every single video game roughly looks like this, where you're like a line and then a dot where your head is. Whoever is further from the door will actually have an advantage because you'll see the enemy's shoulder quickly if you are further from the doorway, or any corner in fact, any form of corner. So this corner, it's really, really weird because the enemy could be standing here, but the furthest I can stand away is over here. So this corner is going to be a little tough. And we have a disadvantage, but because it is the first corner we're taking in the mission, the enemies don't know we're here. So this disadvantage in coming close to the corner, because I'm going to get my guy around the corner really close, isn't going to be that bad at all, because we haven't actually let the enemies know we're here. But in BattleBit, you might not want to round this corner very quick. Instead, what you might want to do is do a quick little jump and hop back in BattleBit to get info on where the enemy's standing exactly, and then peek the corner aiming at him through the wall. That's what you do in BattleBit. I can even make my guy do that in this, so we might even do that actually, in fact. So that's the first thing. This corner is a disadvantage to swing this, but I'm going to anyways, because the enemy doesn't know we're here until we shoot, and my characters wouldn't have shot yet. From that point onwards, I'm okay with holding this door. I might want to get two different angles on the door, so I'll create that just because I want the enemy to walk out with multiple things to aim at. So in BattleBit, an enemy would have to jump out, do an info swing, then jump back in. So that's what we do. And if an enemy did that in BattleBit, I'd then back up. But, you know, in this game, the enemies are just going to walk out and come out. So I'm going to get my guys here and here to aim at the door. And I'm going to stay there until I think no more enemies are flooding out of the room. After I've done that, we need to think about how to clear this room. Here's something in this room that's interesting. This little like waist height table type thing. You tell the tables are like cups and plates and teapots and things on it. Enemies in this game can actually sit behind the cover. You know, they can actually sit behind it and aim their gun over without being visible themselves, and that's a huge disadvantage. They can shoot the doorway whilst I can't shoot them. So that means that I'm going to have to use a flashbang, which I think is like roughly this big, maybe a bit bigger even. I'm gonna have to use a flashbang on this area, so that's a note to give. I'm also going to quickly say that this is like, I'm going to make that red for disadvantage. This is a disadvantageous push, but I'm going to do it anyways. Another thing is, when my guys are like flooding into the room, they're going to have to look at this doorway, and there's going to be a guy behind here. Or potentially there won't be a guy here and he'll be sitting on this chair or whatever, but what I'm trying to say is, this room is a threat, but also this doorway is also a threat. So I'm going to have to get one of my guys to kind of flood up really quick and hold an angle on this door. Now, this hallway here is very long, right? And that's super bad. But my guys have, if I remember correctly, have M16s, they're like really long barrel M16, so I'm okay with them peeking. So when we go into this room, we need one of my guys, he's gonna have to end up here and aim that way. That's what I want, so that's one thing I have to do. Another one of my people is gonna have to be sitting here aiming at the rest of the room. So what I might do is the first person who enters will go to this corner, and the whole time they'll be aiming at the room, so clearing the middle of the room. My second guy, my number 2, will go like this, okay? And I'm going to let him peek, even though it's a long angle, and I talked about how that's a disadvantage. He has an M16, and in this game, that's like a really good buff. Whereas in BattleBit or something, honestly, in a house like this, just about any gun will do. If you had an SMG, you would still roll this even with an SMG, because in BattleBit, SMGs kill so quickly that the disadvantage of being close to the corner really doesn't matter in BattleBit. So for BattleBit, this would be a good play too, going to this corner right away and aiming. That'd be a really good play. But in door kickers, I'm going to have my guy hold an angle, because in door kickers there is no peekers advantage, unlike BattleBit. What are we thinking about for over here? I know due to playing that there cannot be an enemy in this zone outside the window, so I'm going to pretend like this window doesn't exist. What I want is enemies who are behind this truck at any position. I want them to be stuffed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a teammate sitting here to throw a flashbang about here to cover this area. Whilst he's throwing the flashbang, I want another teammate here to cover him, right? Because this guy is going to be vulnerable. But if I have a teammate here aiming this way, holding an aggressive angle, this teammate here who's throwing the flashbang, he's on a passive angle, so he'll be fine. We're going to need someone to clear out the car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the number 1 guy here to go behind the car, and then the number 2 guy to come down here and clear out the rest of the room. Now this is a really close quarters area, and I have M16, so I might want my number 2 guy to instead back up from the doorway and go as far away from the door as possible. So I'm thinking this plan looks pretty good. Right now we have advantage here because we have a flashbang going off. The only reason we wanted the flashbang was because this shelf would create a huge disadvantage. Just like in BattleBit, if you found a concrete barrier or a HESCO wall or something in BattleBit, you would want to clear it out with something like an impact grenade or a C4. So in this, I'm going to be using a flashbang. When I unlock frag grenades later on, I'll use those. But for the first mission, I have to use flashbangs, so I'll be doing that. So we have a disadvantage here that we're going to clear out using a flashbang. The flashbang will be used to nullify yet another disadvantage for us, which is the cover here behind the truck. And then from then on, honestly, it's just standard clearing and going as far away from the door as possible to clear. So let's try to make a plan like that in-game and see how it goes. Alrighty, because I just realized after making the plan that right here I'm forced to take a much closer angle than I want, as I said was a disadvantage, I might actually get my person here, Gloria, to use her sidearm instead, because it's a bit better up close than M16. I'm going to get our guy over here to line up here. So see this blue line? This is how much I've seen. So it goes like this. I'm going to get him to go as wide as he can to sort of line up with that. I'm going to make him aim at this corner, and he's going to go wide enough to see the blue. And then I'm going to make it so on alpha code, when I press A on my keyboard, he's going to wide swing and he's going to peek the whole thing. Now what I'm also going to do to get an advantage is I'm going to get Gloria at the same time to as alpha code to go around the corner like this, and I'm going to get her to be aiming at the doorway. So really I'm going to get him to aim at like sort of this whole area, whereas we'll get Gloria to clear the close angle here. So Gloria is going to clear the close angle with her sidearm, whereas Pintea is going to be clearing out all the wide zone. Alrighty, let's do it. And then A. Alright, that's cool. Pintei is going to keep moving to about here, and then he's going to stop, because if he... Oh, I'll show why in a moment. We're going to go here, just to clear out this little bit. Alright, so this little bit here is clear. The reason I don't want him to walk further is because if I walked any further, a huge portion of this room would be able to see him. And we want just like in BattleBit, you want to always be aiming at where potential threats are. So we're not going to move him any forwards, we're going to keep him like this. And now we can only see a small bit of the room. Now, I didn't mention this in my advantages and disadvantages. Oh no, I did actually. So this corner is going to be a point, and if any enemies are here, I can be further away if I'm standing here. So I'm actually going to get my guy to actually peek this corner without any flashbangs or anything. He's going to go to right about here. But I tell you what, if he walked any further, he'd then be able to see all the way deep, all the way back here, and these enemies are further from the corner than he is. So if any enemies were here, they'd kill my teammate. So instead, he's going to stop right here, and he's going to not aim any deeper into the room. So let's let him take that, and I'm going to let Gloria here come a little bit close. Gloria's right here just to shoot really quick. So let's watch this happen. Cool, that looks totally fine. Going to get a little bit more ground. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. I'm now going to get him to move a little bit closer. I know even though he's got an M16, and I'm going to get Gloria here to be the one to flashbang this. And the reason I get Gloria to is because if an enemy pushes out, Pintei can actually see them for a lot longer than Gloria can. Gloria can only see an enemy once they're here, right? So if this guy threw a flashbang, an enemy could run all the way here, stand still, and shoot him without Gloria being able to do anything. So he won't throw the flashbang. He's holding an aggressive angle that can see deep into the room, whereas Gloria is going to be the one to throw the flashbang. So let's do that really quick. Oh, this would be good. This covers everything apart from this tiny ladder, which I know due to playing enemies cannot sit under it or on top of it. So we're totally fine. And then after that flashbang goes off, Gloria's going to be the one to clear the close angles, as I said, and the room angles. We want the M16 to be aiming long. So I'm going to get Pintei on Alpha. This is all going to happen when I press A on my keyboard at the same time. They're going to go like this. I'm going to draw this. And then when he gets to about here-ish, he's going to switch to aiming at the door. And the whole time he's going to be aiming at this doorway. And then Gloria is instead going to go like this. And then she's going to be looking like this. This is her vision cone. And when she goes, alright, there are no more enemies within my vision cone, she's going to move up to this corner. Aim back just as a double check. And then when that's all clear, she's going to move up and get really close to the hallway. And then we'll let that play out. Alright, let's have a look. Flashbang goes out. This is going to nullify the cover from being any good. Cool, he's behind cover and he couldn't shoot back because he was flashbanged. Long angle went well. I think that enemy, and my memory is already crap and I wasn't paying enough attention. I think he got a shot off, which is bad. That is really bad for us. And that's actually what I was talking about with Pika's advantage. That guy was further from the corner, and even though it's an AI, he technically had more time to see me than my guy had to see him. So I think he got a shot off. I don't remember, but I think he got a shot off. It would make sense if he got a singular shot off at least. But yeah, Pintei put him down because his gun is just better. Alrighty, and let's get Gloria up close. There's still a little bit of space here that's blue behind the fridge. I doubt there's an enemy there, but we'll see what happens. So I'm going to get Pintei to constantly be holding a long angle, but his vision cone is, His vision cone is wide enough to still clear this angle at the same time. So let's let him do that. Alright, that's good. Now he's going to take this long angle to about here. I don't want him to see too far. Gloria's going to get ready to prep the flashbang. So I don't want him to stand here, because then he'll be seeing... Oh no, he won't actually. No, this is really good. So let's say that this doorway was extended out by like a meter or so. I wouldn't want him to stand here, because then he'd see behind the car where they'd have cover. But at this angle, he can only see back to here where the enemies won't have cover, which is really, really good. So we're going to get them to press up as far as they can to the right. Cool, cool. Gloria, you're going to step back a little bit, so if an enemy pushes, they won't die. The same strategy is here. I'm going to get this guy to hold a deep angle, but if Gloria, let's say Gloria was the one protecting, this guy could get shot really easily, so Gloria's going to be the one to throw a flashbang. On Alpha, she's going to throw a flash right here, just as I wanted in the plan. Wow, these flashbangs are huge. That's actually fantastic. And I'm going to expect... I don't think there's anywhere here that's blue zone, apart from this really close bit. I'm actually going to get him to go behind this truck, of course, as I wanted, to make sure the whole back of the truck is clear. But what I'm going to do is actually get him to sprint and put his gun down and run this whole way. That's similar to what you do in BattleBit. If I had a teammate walk in and clear the like really close angle, I might just honestly run and jump behind this truck and then peek. In BattleBit, I might like crouch down right like here-ish and then peek the corner. In this game, I'll do a similar strategy. So anyways, we need Glory to come here and clear the close angle right away, and then when nobody's on her screen anymore, she will come back down and go along the bottom here, hold an angle like that, and that should be good. Honestly, considering she has a sidearm, which in BattleBit would be like an SMG, I actually might get her to walk up really close and not roll the like long advantage I played here. Instead, I'm going to play really, really close and close to this doorway because she has a sidearm, which is really good up close. First things first though, I'm going to get her to reload, not on alpha, just reload right now. Oh no, wow, oh my gosh, I've just done a misinput. That is so my bad. Oh my gosh. So, this is what you call a misinput right here. I did not mean for her to do this. Let me go like this. Switch her pistol again. Alright, you know what? This is not the strategy I wanted to do. I accidentally told her, instead of telling her to reload, I told her to switch back to her M16. And that made her push really far forwards. So on A, she's going to throw a flashbang. Here, that is my bad, but here's the thing, I just did what you would call an info swing in BattleBit. I swung, saw an enemy and peeked backwards, and just like in BattleBit this would happen, that can bait enemies into moving position. But get this, we had Pintea sitting here ready for enemies to walk up. Just like in BattleBit, that's the thing you can do. But instead in BattleBit, this might not be Pintea, I might swing, unswing, jump, like literally do a jump and sprint here and aim and wait for the enemy to push off of that info they've just gained, which could happen in BattleBit. But anyways, let's move on to throwing the flashbang. Throws a flashbang, and then she clears the close angle, he runs back, kills that guy behind there, and our bathroom is clear. There we go, GG, I won the mission. I think I got 3 stars for that because none of my guys got injured, so I got 3 stars, but we didn't complete any challenges. When I do, I might redo some missions like later on and you know, try to get these challenges done for you guys, but I have done all of the challenges in all the levels in the game, but I am not doing it for the YouTube series. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Catch you in the next one.